Hi everyone, Procrastinating Turtle here. While I was doing some research into the Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl Pokédex, it got me thinking, what features could these remakes have? In the mainline Pokemon games, there have been fruits the players can pick. In Diamond and Pearl, like most games, this fruit is berries. The player can pick berries from trees and acquire them in other ways as well. Sometimes the player will have very few berries, if not only one, of a particular berry. In Diamond and Pearl, the player can plant the berries to potentially get more. However, the player needs to water and maintain the berry trees, as there is potential for the plants to dry up or lose its fruit if too much time has passed. A new thing in Diamond and Pearl was the ability to use mulch. Mulch can affect the growth of any berry planted in various ways depending on what type of mulch used. The mulch can make the berries grow quicker, cause the soil to dry out slower, keep the berries on the tree longer, or even try to revive a dried out plant. This feature was expanded on in later generations. I would like to see the expansions brought into Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. In Diamond and Pearl, the player could only buy the mulch, whereas in X and Y, the player could make their own mulch by using composters. X and Y also introduced new mulch while simultaneously getting rid of the mulch found in Diamond and Pearl. The new mulch could either cause the soil to dry out in a few hours instead of the next day, cause the tree to yield 2 more berries than it otherwise would, increase the chance of berry mutation, or the final mulch, which would have the same effects as all 3. Berry mutations are very interesting in that when the player plants 2 different berry trees next to each other, they could essentially cross-pollinate and produce a different berry. I don't know if it could mechanically be made possible as I'm not a game engineer, but I would really like to see all of the mulch varieties to be able to be used in Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. Or at least perhaps a combination of the 2 generations, such as being able to use the mulch that makes the berry grow faster, regrow a dried out plant, increase the harvest, and berry mutation. Pokemon contests, which first appeared in Ruby and Sapphire, continued in the Diamond and Pearl games. While you can compete in contests in 4 different cities around the Ruby and Sapphire map, in Diamond and Pearl competing in contests could only happen in Heartthrob City. Since they brought back contests for Oraz, it is likely they will bring back contests for Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl as well. I don't think they would change much from the original, but I would like if the winning contests gave some kind of useful item. Not necessarily evolutionary stones, as they can be found in the underground, which we will talk about later in this video. Perhaps items that could be sold like nuggets or pearls, or items that can be used such as the more expensive Pokeballs, repels, or healing items, perhaps even mulch or rare berries. I would really like the colored flutes to be a prize, since in the original Diamond and Pearl, these flutes had to be traded over from Ruby or Sapphire, as Mount Coronet in Sinnoh is not active, whereas Mount Chimney in Hoenn is, so the player cannot collect soot for them to be made in the game. These flutes could cure Pokemon of sleeping, infatuation, or confusion status conditions in battle, as well as affect the encounters of wild Pokemon dependent on the flute used. In Diamond and Pearl, the use of berries outside of battle switched from making Pokeblocks to poffins. Once the player obtained the poffin case, poffins could be made in the poffin house located in Heartthrob City. Poffins were made very similarly to how curry is made in Sword and Shield, just without a separate main ingredient. Place the ingredients into the pot and stir to avoid burning or causing it to overflow. The berries had various flavors much like they do now. These flavors were, and still are, spicy, dry, sweet, bitter, and sour. A single berry could have more than one of these flavors. These flavors have remained mostly the same as well. The resulting poffin could have 1, 2, or multiple flavors. These flavors can be used to raise the cool, beauty, cute, smart, and tough contest characteristics. A Pokemon's nature can influence how well the poffin increases these characteristics, much like a Pokemon's nature can influence how well a Pokemon likes the resulting curry in Sword and Shield. For example, in Diamond and Pearl, a Pokemon that has an adamant nature will like a spicy poffin, but will dislike a dry poffin. This Pokemon could be a good Pokemon to use in a cool themed competition. Similarly to the 5 resulting poffin flavors, in Sword and Shield the resulting curry would be a 1 of 5 tastiness levels. However, curries instead would give some combination of varying levels of experience, restoring HP, restoring PP, healing a status condition, and boosting a Pokemon's social ability. If contests are brought back in Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, I would like to see some kind of mixing of the 2 features, such as you make poffins like in the original Diamond and Pearl games, which can be used to increase contest characteristics, but also some of the qualities found from the curry in Sword and Shield. With the recent release of Generation 8 with Sword and Shield, and the thought of Generation 9 in the back of some players' minds, it is difficult to think there was a time before you could easily trade Pokemon over the internet to other players around the world. However, from Generation 1 until Generation 3, the only way to trade between games was to connect two systems with a cable. This somewhat changed with the release of Fire Red and Leaf Green, with the release of the wireless adapter, but those adapters had to be close enough to communicate with each other. Pokemon Diamond and Pearl introduced the global trade system. The player could search for a specific Pokemon, narrow down to the gender and level of the Pokemon. The player could even deposit a Pokemon of their own and indicate what Pokemon they want in return. I would not expect this feature to change much, if at all, from how it was in Sword and Shield, but it is interesting to note that these games are the games the feature was introduced. When Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire were released, these games included the Mega Evolutions that had been introduced in the main games of X and Y the year prior. There have been rumors that Mega Evolutions may come back in Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. What about Dynamax? It was introduced in Sword and Shield, which was the last main game before the upcoming release of Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. Shouldn't that be the mechanic included in these games? Or perhaps Z-moves they were introduced in Gen 7? Between Mega Evolutions, Z-moves, and Dynamaxing, I believe Mega Evolutions is more likely of the three. While it would kind of make sense for Dynamaxing to be included as it was the last mechanic introduced, the lore behind both Dynamax and Z-moves, to me, make them unlikely to be part of Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. Z-moves may be related to the Ultra Wormholes located in Alola. Also, according to the Pokemon website, Dynamaxing is a phenomenon unique to specific locations in the Galar region. For a Pokemon to Mega Evolve, they need to have a species-specific Megastone. As of Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, there are 46 species that can Mega Evolve. Of these 46 Pokemon, 10 are found in the Diamond and Pearl Pokédex, with an additional 7 found in the Platinum Pokédex. Perhaps if this mechanic is brought back for Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, it will give Pokefans an idea of which Pokédex they may use, as there are more Pokemon capable of using Megastones in the Platinum Pokédex. Unless they use a new Pokédex entirely, which, personally, I hope they do, and include even more Mega Evolution capable Pokemon. I will expand on this thought in another video. If Mega Evolution is used, I would like for new Pokemon to be able to use this mechanic. If they do, I am almost sure they will give Torterra, Infernape, and Empoleon their own Mega Evolution as the final evolutions for the starters, as Ruby and Sapphire got a Mega Evolution. It would also be interesting if, say, Luxray, Crobat, and Rapidash got a Mega Evolution as well, maybe? The Underground is an interesting feature in Diamond and Pearl. It had several sections that can be accessed through various areas of the region. As this feature used the touch screen available on the Nintendo DS, it will have to be changed for the Nintendo Switch. The Underground allowed players to interact with one another. The player could build a secret base and visit other secret bases with the potential to steal a flag. The more flags a player has allowed the player to upgrade their own base. This interaction with other players, along with the odd keystone, which can be found by mining, unlocks the player's ability to capture Spiritomb. In addition to this, a player has the ability to set up traps. There are many types of traps that could be set. These traps, as well as items used to decorate a player's hidden base, can be bought from NPCs in the Underground using a currency of spears that can be mined from the Underground. Many items may be mined from the Underground. Many different kinds of spears, each varying in rarity and worth, plates which can raise the power of specific move types when given to a Pokemon to hold, with the exception of the normal type, as well as fairy types since that didn't exist yet. Shards of some of the plates can be found as well. Unfortunately, you cannot trade these or use these to acquire a whole plate, but instead, if you gather so many shards, they can be traded for either a Sunny Day TM, Sandstorm TM, Rain Dance TM, or a Hail TM, depending on the shard color. Various rocks used to prolong the effects of these weather changes can also be mined. The armor or skull fossil can be found depending on the version of the game. Also, in post-game, other fossils such as the fossils in Amber required to reanimate Anorith, Kabuto, Omnanite, Aerodactyl, and Lileep once the National Dex is acquired. Items that can be sold such as the star pieces or bones, even revives and max revives can be mined from the Underground. Some of the evolutionary stones that affect a Pokemon can also be found in the Underground. As I said earlier, the underground mechanics will have to be changed somewhat as the Nintendo Switch does not have a touchscreen feature. I would like to be able to once again build a secret base and travel to capture other players' flags. What I would like to see changed in the underground is the mining items themselves. I would like to see some items become more common as well as new items to be added. In Diamond and Pearl, the most common items found were some of the spears, followed by the remaining spears, fossils, and shards. Before obtaining the National Index, the evolutionary stones were very rare to find, and the shiny, dusk, and dawn stones, which were introduced in Diamond and Pearl, were not available in the underground. As finding the evolutionary stones in Sword and Shield is somewhat easier than they were in Diamond and Pearl, I would like to see these stones become slightly more common as well as more stones available, and other evolutionary items. It would also be interesting to find more recovery items as well as some stat times while mining. These items could easily be passed off as items that were dropped by other players in the underground. If Mega Evolution is brought back in Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, I would like for Mega Stones, or at least some of them, to be able to be mined in the underground. What do you think? Would you like to grow berries and make mulch? Or just grow the berries and buy mulch from an NPC, like in the original Diamond and Pearl? What about contests? Should they bring them back? What about the prizes if they do? Would you like any new prizes to be added? Which mechanic would you like to see used? Z-moves, Dynamaxing, or Mega Evolutions? Should there be new Mega Evolutions if that's brought back? How about the underground? Should all the evolutionary stones be able to be found there? What about Mega Stones if that's brought back? Let me know down in the comment section below.